You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Folks, listen up. Smirnoff knows there's no I in football. Football's a we thing, an experience that is best joined together with good drinks and good folks. Smirnoff is the world's #1 vodka and is the official vodka partner of the NFL. And this year, there are more opportunities to watch football and make delicious Smirnoff cocktails than ever before over the holiday season. From Thanksgiving to Black Friday and Christmas, Smirnoff and the NFL are with you every step of the way. So this holiday season, when you're enjoying the game and your cocktails, please make sure you drink responsibly. Take a minute, make a plan, never drive impaired. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff, #21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. If you're a smoker or dipper looking to make a change, you really only need one reason to do it. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you can find many. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch. It's made with only 6 simple ingredients. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Learn more about Zyn and find your reason to make a change by registering online at Zyn.com.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
The Chiefs had not lost since Christmas of last year. Joe Burrow is the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for 300-plus yards, 3-plus TDs, no interceptions in back-to-back games, and lose both of them.
That's a good loss for the Chiefs, though, right? Because they got the Bills right where they want them. The Bills acting like they won the Super Bowl yesterday. Congratulations, you won a regular season game, and they still have home field advantage. I mean, what are you doing?
Joe Burrow has 3,000 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. They're 4-7. Nobody ever has the great quarterback going 4-7 like that when the quarterback is playing great. But we are joined now. We have to stop because Stugotz looked into the preview and he was delighted because this man looks more like the face of boxing than Jake Paul does. Jacob Duran, Stitch is his name. He's the cutman for one of the best cutmen working in boxing and MMA.
What a great nickname for a cutman, Stitch.
Yes, Jacob Stitch Duran is with us, and thank you, Jacob. You do look like the face of boxing. You look like the corner of every corner I've ever seen in a boxing match. Thank you for being on with us. What were your thoughts of the overall experience on Friday night?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, you guys. But yeah, the energy level is still at its high point right now. Getting a little bit of sleep, but answering a lot of questions like this, doing interviews, and it's been phenomenal. But I'll take it all in stride because it was such a historical event, such a historical moment that will never be duplicated. But the high probability of working Mike Tyson's last fight, to me that was kind of like a feather on my cap, man. So it doesn't get much better than that.
Yes, it does. It was a crappy fight.
Yeah, well, regard that, forget the fights. I don't look at that. I look at the events, right? And then you're looking at a 50-year-old man with a 27-year-old young man. So you are going to see discrepancies in that. So, yeah, it was more entertainment than it was a victory value.
At any point, did you feel bad for Mike?
Well, I knew that he started slowing down like the start of the third round. I told Amir Abdullah, I said, it looked like he had hit a wall, and people were talking about his leg and all that. And, I'm focused on his face, so I'm not looking from here down. And but in the dressing room and all that, he seemed fine.
How would the fight have had to have gone for Tyson to have a real chance? What strategically, what would Jake Paul have had to do that would have really enabled Mike to have a shot?
Fight him at the beginning instead of run away.
Yeah, I think the conditioning factor, if you got a 58-year-old man, so the conditioning factor, I think, was the overall discrepancy in this whole event. But I saw him train. I saw Mike train, and I've known him, got over 25 years. We just trained the same gym, so I knew his intensity type of training. And the days I was in the gym, I saw that, and I saw his sparring, and I saw that. But I think the excitement, the adrenaline, and everything, and then going into a fight, and then going combat with another one will drain you right off the bat. And I think that's what happened there.
Jacob, obviously you've been in the game forever. You're a legend. You've seen and know more about boxing than we ever know. Would Canelo stand a chance against Jake Paul?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Jake Paul, as I break down the events or fighters and all that, there's A, B, C, and D. Jake Paul's a good B fighter. He's a good athlete, and the reason I know that, because like say I've done like 3 events with him, like 4 or 5 all together in the same programs, but they were wrestlers. And when I had a school of kickboxing, guys that were wrestlers that came into kickboxing made a good transition because they're athletes, right? So, but Canelo's a horse of a different color, bro. So now you're chewing a little bit more off than your ego is letting you do. So.
Jacob, I want to put in front of you an accusation by Mike Ryan, who says, and you were in the locker room, that the Mike Tyson ass video where he turned around after being interviewed by his son to reveal ass, shocking an international audience at old man ass. Mike Ryan says that was a manufactured for television moment, that it was orchestrated. Can you give us from inside the locker room your personal opinion?
Well, I saw Mike walking around, of course, bare ass, and I was going to take a picture, but I said, nah, that's a little too personal. And then I see it on social media, and I don't know who put it out there, but yeah, that was Mike at his finest point.
So
okay,
it's not usually part of his normal routine. Interesting.
Yeah. It's just he just finished putting his cup on and walking around, and just kind of learned to accept Mike Tyson as Mike Tyson.
Okay, but Mike Ryan is saying that is a manufactured for television shock moment to go viral. Do you believe it was orchestrated, yes or no?
No, not at all. Not at all. Mike's doing his thing, and it wasn't orchestrated for that at all. That'd be embarrassing to Mike, I'm sure. I'm sure he got embarrassed. I'm sure his family got embarrassed.
No, he looked great.
Yeah, he looked great. It's a great ass.
Looked really good. And it's just a weird time to be doing it. You've been with him for a long time in his career. It's just an odd time to start doing something for the first time, walking around like that.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. You can have your cynicisms if you want. The man is in the corner. The man is giving you his opinion.
Is he in the production meetings?
You want to interrogate him? You want to?
It sounds like you were trying to get the answer you wanted.
Okay, well,
you don't want to believe that this was totally manufactured.
Yeah, no, I don't see that as being fabricated at all.
Jake Paul would never.
Yeah. Oh, Jake Paul. Huh? Hey, man, I'm new in this social media stuff, so, you guys might have something, but I don't know.
Now I got the
picture.
Keep going, Mike. Keep interrogating Jacob Stitch Duran. Go ahead. Keep interrogating. See if you can get the answer you want.
On the cut front, wasn't very busy for you. What was the deal with these big goofy gloves? I mean, 2-minute rounds, everybody had action on knockouts, and it became very evident that after 2 rounds, we're not going to actually see
They're playing with clown cartoon gloves.
Yeah, those are sparring gloves, and just to see the 8 2-minute rounds to me was a surprise, but I understand. This was not to see, who's the best gladiator in the world. It's to see how much attention you're going to draw to this type of fight, and I think it worked out for, everybody.
Yes, it did. That's right. It did.
18. The first time I've been in a fight, in a pro fight, in a major fight, where 14-ounce gloves have been used.
Stitch, take out the gloves from it and all the rules, and we were trying to figure out who was the greatest gladiator, and they were fighting to the death without rules. Who would have won?
Oh, without rules, just the whole at the same age level.
No, as it was, as it was, same age.
As they were in their prime. Mike's a beat.
Come on.
Not in Mike's prime. He's saying right now.
Right now,
He's
Friday.
Saying, this Friday we're going to do a rematch.
To the death.
Now,
No
to
gloves.
The death. No rules.
No jock straps. Naked.
There's an old saying
in an alley.
There's an old saying in this sport where you can beat anything, but you can't beat time. So hopefully that answers that question, right?
You think Jake Paul would kill
time.
Mike Tyson? Stitch, you just said that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jacob, just real quick to put a bow on it. Is this the worst actual boxing match you've ever been a part of?
Well, I don't really consider it a boxing match, but it's the most entertaining one for sure.
Okay, but that's not what I asked you. That's fine.
You know what? I think as the fight's going on, and I hear people booing out there, and I say, they're going to have to pick it up a little bit, right? And but I expected a toe-to-toe fight for as long as it lasted, to be honest with you.
You seem to be leading the witness here, Dan. I mean,
I just asked him, is it or is it not the worst
kind of
fight
walked
you've
him
ever
right
been
into the
involved?
answer.
Hey.
Yeah.
So I try to give you the kind of answer to stroke you, so I go to the next one.
Wow.
Baby.
I just asked him.
You got to play the game. Let's play the game, man. Come on.
I just asked him the question of whether it was or it wasn't. It was a question.
All right.
Yeah, but you know what? And when you look deep into what goes on when guys are making contact, all right, it's a hit sport, it's a hurt sport. You got whatever the result's going to be, you got to give those guys credit for just being in there taking a shot, and but yeah, so respect to them both, and yeah, it was a shitty fight. I agree, and I'm not going to expected a lot more, but in the sense it was good for the entertainment value.
Listen, people are cynical. They assume the next $20 million offer is going to change everything. Percentage likelihood that we have seen Mike Tyson's last fight ever?
Oh, yeah, I would probably say the probability is almost 100%. I think reality will kick in that, you can beat anything, but you can't beat time. So, I think he'll do fine.
He's one of the best cut men working in boxing and MMA. Jacob, thank you for being on with us. We appreciate the time, sir.
Nah, thank you, guys. I'm going to go back to sleep now because it's an early call for me. So thanks for having me on, guys.
You really get it. You get the entertainment value of the thing. You don't care if it impacts boxing or not. And Father Time is undefeated. You really get it, man.
Yeah. Great mustache, too.
Yeah, great.
And a great mustache. How old is that mustache, Jacob?
Oh, beautiful.
Well, since I was 12 years old, like Pedro.
Oh, wow. Since he was 12 years old, you had that much? What? That must have been shocking to the other 12-year-olds to have that and mustache when you were 12 years old.
Yeah, and it's funny, in the Undisputed game, they had me without my glasses, and I said, well, my mustache, my glasses, and my hair are my profile, so I'm trying to get it back.
Good seeing you,
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, the seasons are changing. You know what that means? Time to layer it up a little bit, change the wardrobe. In Miami, a little bit of a different story, but across the country when I'm traveling, I'm getting those layers in when it's just effortless and comfortable and looks good. Rhone's commuter collection combines comfort, versatility, and breathability, massive in Miami, featuring premium pants, shirts, quarter zips, polos, and blazers. Each piece is made from Rhone's signature stretch fabrics with wrinkle release and anti-odor technology, keeping you fresh and polished all day. Enjoy more wears between washes. Building mental fitness is vital to everyone's success, on and off the court. That's why Rhone is proud to partner with NBA five-time All-Star Kevin Love and the Kevin Love Foundation. Together, they're opening up discussions and enabling action around mind health. Head to Rhone.com/DLS and use promo code DLS to save 20% off your entire order. That's a 20% off your entire order when you head to Rhone, RHONE.com/DLS and use code DLS. It's time to embody your most confident self.
Dan Batard.
I want to talk about a team that I actually want to see come playoff time. I want to see the Chiefs.
Stugotz.
I want Patrick Mahomes strolling into my stadium with max confidence. I want Travis Kelce. I want Taylor Swift. I want the team that lost to Jordan Love. I want the team that lost to Aiden O'Connell. I want the team that trailed 17-0 to Jake Browning. That is the team that I would like to face in the playoffs. That's the team, indeed, that I would want to face in the playoffs because that team is not very good.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz.
We're going to get to Stugotz's weekend observations here in just a second, but I did want to get back, Stugotz, quickly before we do that, to a couple of football-related things. The Bears lose in maximum Bears fashion. They allowed one touchdown when they were offside and had 12 men on the field and allowed the touchdown anyway. The Packers debilitate them at the end. What are you smirking about, Jessica?
Nothing. Terrible loss for the Bears. Yeah. So stinky.
I'm still trying to process that guy at age 12.
With a mustache.
With a mustache that looked like that at age 12. Please, I couldn't grow that mustache today.
You're having some difficulty here with your bad arm day, and you've been having an unruly hair situation. Have you cut your hair since we publicly cut your hair here? Have you cut your hair? Because it seems like it's grown out a great deal, and when I came in here, it looked like you had stuck your finger in a light socket.
Yeah, I had, actually, which is surprising because the light sockets are so small. It's tough to do that. and I wouldn't recommend it for anybody else. I have had a haircut since the freebie I got here, which wasn't really free because I had to tip the guy $20. But I need a haircut. But the arm day, I don't know when it's going to go away, but I'll be
bad arm week, I thought.
Well, it's a bad arm week for now. It'll take a while. I mean, it's...
Have you ever had a bad arm month, Greg?
Yeah. I have in the past. It comes and goes, this condition. And I've talked to my skin doctor about it. I was a dermatologist.
Yep.
And she's not overly concerned. She's like, it's sort of an age thing. Don't worry about it. Forget about it.
The splotchiness on your arms.
Yeah, and I would like a magic cream that just made it go away. Because it's the red splotches.
And you can moisturize.
It's unsightly. So... It is what it is.
Doctors need to find the perfect balance, right? Because I don't like a doctor that's way too lax about things, but I also don't like a doctor that's overly concerned about situations. You need a doctor that's very level-headed and meets kind of what you need from them, right?
Yeah, I like overly concerned.
Really?
Yeah. I have a little bit of hypochondriac in me, and so I want that extra test. I want that extra scan.
What are you talking about? You famously undersell everything to your doctors.
No, you think I do.
I've had to go to doctor's appointments with you. No. When your cough was bad, I went with you to a doctor's appointment.
Mm-hmm. That kind of thing.
And then I spoke to the doctor, and he was like, "Oh, you haven't told me any of this."
Greg, your thoughts, if I were to rewind the last 90 seconds for the people who are listening to this, it's like you don't know that you're on the air and you're not performing. It's just you're talking around the kitchen, that kind of thing. It doesn't matter whether what you're saying makes sense or not. You're it's just unspooling gibberish instead of thoughts like you're a professional broadcaster on a Monday.
Okay, I've heard him make this rant before.
Yeah. Right.
It's only partly rooted in truth. Mm-hmm. I take care of myself like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Okay, I see 6 doctors. I got scans out the ass. Everybody's always taking x-rays and doing this, doing that, popping pills, 6 pills a day. Nobody works on their health more than Greg Cote. Nobody, okay? That kind of thing.
It seems like you should be concerned, though. I mean, all those scans, medications.
But I got it under control.
Okay. Good.
But you're having a bad arm week, and the way that you have it under control is by wearing a long-sleeve shirt.
Yeah, because she can't prescribe a magic lotion for me. Invent one.
It's on her.
Yeah.
You're bruising because your dog jumps up because you can't discipline it and scratches you with its talons, right?
In this case, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And you are now officially a person who bruises easily. You were not that before.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a crepey skin thing.
Well, when it comes to hypochondria, though, I think of Stugotz as more of a hypochondriac than you. I think of you as someone who will stubbornly not go to the doctor. Is it because you're a hypochondriac and you don't want the doctor to tell you the truth about what things are happening? Because I know when, for example, you look jaundiced or green or are coughing too much, it takes many of us 7 or 8 times to push you to a doctor because you're reluctant.
Yeah, I think 5 years ago, all of that was true. When I was at my worst, after I'd come out of my fairly major surgery on my abdomen, and I had such a chronic cough that I had to leave my own bedroom. I couldn't sleep at night. I had to go to the far end of the house and try to sleep because I couldn't fall asleep because of my chronic cough.
A special kind of torture, that one.
Yes, it was. And we finally got that under control with medication, and that taught me that this isn't going to take care of itself. I need to really start seeing doctors and medicating myself and figure out what's going on.
Your son is rolling his eyes at you right now because your son famously, I'm always chasing after your son, stay after your father because he's rolling his eyes at you because of how hard it is to get you to take care of yourself.
Look, you've gotten better about this.
Thank
I'll give
you.
you that, but you're not a hypochondriac. You're going to the far end of the spectrum. You're now every single thing I go into mom is still having to be oh, you're coughing bad this week. Why don't you make an appointment?
I mean, Greg, he is right because hypochondriacs, and I am one, they just show up to the doctor without an appointment.
Can't get enough doctor.
Right, I can't get enough. Okay. Give me a reason to come back.
Yeah, I'm not quite there. I'm not quite that bad. But if I have a tickle in my throat and I clear my throat, your mother wants me to get some more prednisone. I don't want to doctors don't like to prescribe steroids.
Well, that's the issue is that your fix for this is a steroid.
Well, that prednisone's my magic drug.
That's not a long-term solution, though, is what I've always argued.
You're right. It isn't. It helps when I'm taking the pills and a few days after that. But you're right. It isn't. But that's why I puff inhalers and take other pills. I mean, it is what it is. I'm 70 years old. I have asthma, mild COPD, and I'm doing the best I can.
Can you rub the prednisone on your arms? Since it's a magic pill.
Is it?
Can someone explain to me why it is any of us ever say it is what it is? Like, just as an expression.
I don't know, but I hate it so much.
I know
it drives me. I hate when I say it, and when I say it, I get mad at myself.
But sometimes it is what it is, right?
Roy loves this one, but as a signature catchphrase, it stinks. It doesn't mean anything, and I don't know why it is anyone would utter it.
It's terrible. It's thought terminating. You say it is what it is, and yeah. It is like what?
No, but it's because you don't have anything to say. It's a bridge to other thoughts. It's not useful commentary. It's a waste of breath.
Well, you mentioned earlier the phrase "time will tell." It's in that similar category.
Yes, Bill. Well, I objected to that too when Billy said it.
Yeah.
Just in terms of useless commentary, I'd like useful commentary. I've got plenty of useless commentary.
Yeah, well,
so time will tell, and it is what it is. It's just not helpful.
I mean, time will tell. You want me to go game by game in the Marlins schedule, tell you how the manager's going to do? We don't even know who's on what teams yet. Free agency is going on now. I can do the game by game. You want to do game by game for the Marlins season?
We're going to get to Stugotz's weekend observations here in a second. I did want to ask you guys, though, because you guys rose up on me last week when I probably got carried away and I said that Cam Ward had lost the Heisman because he doesn't have enough Heisman moments. And what I wanted to ask you, because I saw it revealed to me on Saturday, Fox goes to its studio and they go to Emmanuel Acho. This made me laugh out loud when they did it. So it's the Acho room, and he's going to be maximum televised Acho. And for some reason, they're playing the highlight package of Travis Hunter, who had 3 plays in that Colorado game that are the kinds of plays that you need to win this trophy, plays that are played over and over again. But they go to Emmanuel Acho, and all they're going to him on is to cover those 3 plays, which are being played under his feet. Like, it's not being played on the screen behind him. It's just to show you that they have the technological capacity to show you Travis Hunter running around on the floor beneath Acho's feet as he points right and left to where the plays are going. But it was simply for Fox to show you that they have the technology to do this with the floor, which is exactly how it is. You end up getting the kind of pub that you need so that everyone is noticing your big plays in a way that they haven't had signature memorable plays for Cam Ward.
Fox also trotted out a hologram Tom Brady.
Creepy.
In their pregame show.
What?
Creepy.
That everybody apparently didn't like.
Imagine.
Tell me more.
He was standing next to the guys in studio, but he wasn't actually standing there. It was a hologram of Tom Brady, and they would talk about it, and they would talk to the
They're like
hologram.
facing each other. You see Gronk looking this way.
But real Tom Brady is somewhere else talking back?
Right.
Okay.
He's where he's broadcasting the game of the day. So imagine explaining to Gronk, look to your left as if Tom Brady was there, but he's not, and you're talking to him.
We're getting carried away, aren't we?
I mean, it's cool. It's getting the people talking. I mean, change up studio
We are
production.
no longer criticizing Tom Brady as a broadcaster. He can now just sort of ease into being $375 million guy.
I think they're pretty much really doing that week to week on the social media front. I know Mad Dog Russo had a takeout of him. It hasn't gone the way that we'd hoped. He's had some bright moments, but this is also a really kooky dynamic that he has over there. It might actually lead to harsher criticism, and hopefully he gets a little bit more comfortable because he's not interfacing with these people when he's calling these games because he's a part owner of the Raiders. It's not going great. I thought it was going to be a lot better. I think I have to capitulate on this one.
He just got to tighten it up. He just goes too long. He's always talking, and it's like, okay, you're doing well, just stop. And he just goes always that 5 or seconds too much. 5 or 6 seconds too much.
We got it.
He was trying to save time.
Yeah,
Take a note, Tom Brady.
What Brady needs to do.
Tom Brady is getting panned, but I thought it was a lot quieter than it was after game 1. Like, we're going to complain on whoever the broadcaster is. We're not giving a whole lot of praise to anybody these days for broadcasting.
We didn't complain about Olsen, did we?
No, but he's not the one that's getting the praise now because he's not on the main game, and there were no expectations for Olsen. He was an unexpected surprise. I've told you one of the great theater experiences of my life, movie theater, was The Matrix, because I don't like Keanu Reeves and I don't like science fiction. So I go in and I see The Matrix and I'm like, whoa, I didn't expect anything. Nobody expected anything from Greg Olsen, and he was able to consistently surprise us. Tom Brady walks in, $375 million. It's all we're talking about before he started. The expectations are totally different. The expectation of excellence is a crippler, but I thought the criticism had been diluted. It doesn't mean there's not going to be criticism. I just thought it was worse on week one than it's been since, that he's since become a bit of an afterthought. It's not one of the main talking points of the weekend that Tom Brady is less good at his job than you'd like him to be.
It was up there with the Russo thing, and I think most people generally have the same complaint that Chris has. He's talking too much. My criticism is he's not leaning on his own personal experience all that much and not becoming really a storyteller, because if you're not going to have inside access in these rooms, if you're not meeting with the coach, I just want to hear Tom Brady's true thoughts. And he's had those moments, like with Baker Mayfield. They were essentially beefing on air because they didn't have the opportunity to clear the air face to face. And when he was also calling Baker Mayfield on that Bosa play, saying that's the greatest play I've ever seen a quarterback make. These are where Tom Brady speaks with authority, and I wish he would be encouraged to do that more.
Mike is so right about that, because Tom Brady has been in every possible situation a quarterback whose game he's calling is going through at that time, and he never draws on those past experiences to explain to the audience, this is what the quarterback is thinking, this is what I went through, and this is what you need to do. He needs to do more of that, and he needs to just relax. He is very stiff in there. He just seems stiff. He seems nervous.
So why didn't you like Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
Just wasn't a fan of his
like
work.
Johnny Mnemonic?
Just wasn't a big fan of Keanu. None of them. Didn't
okay.
love the Bill and Ted stuff. Didn't love any of it.
I rewatched Bram Stoker's
Point
Dracula.
Break.
His hair color
Did you see Point Break?
changes like camera shot to camera shot. Sometimes it's white hair. Sometimes what is happening there? Sometimes it's brown. Sometimes it's salt and pepper. Sometimes it's just straight up white.
You say what is happening there, and I asked that question of the San Francisco 49ers because
segue.
You mentioned Bosa and that play with Baker Mayfield very quietly yesterday under the avalanche of everything that happened in football. A team we believe to be playoff good, San Francisco 49ers, take a hit yesterday, and it was funny to see them lose against Seattle at home. As soon as Bosa left the game, Geno Smith 2 touchdowns. Like Bosa leaves the game with a hip injury, and it's like, oh, there goes their pass rush, and there goes everything. They just lost because they can't stop Geno Smith from any angle. They can't get a pass rush, and they just lost to Seattle at home when none of us think that that's what the San Francisco 49ers season's supposed to be this year.
Seattle is confusing, huh?
Not really.
Really?
No, they'll be 500. They'll be 500 with Geno Smith, and it'll come close to leading the league in passing, and you won't win anything.
The Lions are going to win the Super Bowl. The Lions have to win the Super Bowl this year.
They added a game. It's hard. You can't go 500 anymore.
I'm just saying they'll be a mediocre
tie.
team.
You can.
Yeah.
No more 8.
Oh, that's true. Good point.
What are we
beloved
doing with
tie.
odd numbers?
Stugotz's
I don't like
beloved
it.
tie.
The NFC West, by the way, is still very much up for grabs. Even after yesterday's game, they're still only a game out of first place.
I also happen to think it's actually really good. They're just beating each other up. So the general impression of the division as a whole is not probably where it should be.
Stugotz here for my friends over at Simply Safe. The holiday season is right around the corner. That means you're away more, and burglars know it. That means you need to protect your home. Right now, Simply Safe is giving exclusive early access to its Black Friday sale to Batard Show listeners. Simply Safe is the home security I trust to keep my home and family safe. Simply Safe is a new way to protect your home that stops intruders before they break into your home. Old school systems only take action once someone is already inside your home. That's too late. Simply Safe's Active Guard outdoor protection changes the game by preventing crime before it even happens. If someone's lurking around or acting suspiciously, those agents see them in real time, talk to them directly, set off your spotlight, and even call the police before they've had a chance to break in. Simply Safe is offering my listeners exclusive early access to their Black Friday sale. This week only, you can take 60% off any new system with a select professional monitoring plan. This is their best offer of the year. Head to simplysafe.com/DLB to claim your discount and make sure your home is safe this holiday season. Don't wait. This offer won't last long. Keep your home, your family, and your peace of mind protected with Simply Safe. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Hey podcasters, it's Mike Ryan, and let me tell you something, the NBA's got a lot going for it right now. Bright young stars hitting the court, teams playing exciting brands of basketball, and celebrities everywhere you look courtside. It's no wonder why tickets are in demand. Let me tell you about my favorite on the secondary ticket marketplace, and that is Game Time, and their amazing new feature called Game Time Picks. It makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. With Game Time Picks, it helps make curation easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and whatever else tickles your fancy. Also, they've got all-in pricing. This feature is huge. Push of a button, you get no surprises at checkout, you know exactly what to budget for. You get panoramic seat views, and of course, Game Time's lowest price guarantee, where Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference if you find a better price out there. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time.
Dan Batard.
Greg, how's your birthday going so
I
far?
invented it. It's going fantastic. My wife and I are staying home tonight. We're watching the debate on TV. We're going to do something special for dinner. It's a nice day for me so far.
Stugotz.
That sounds like not a super nice night. The debate.
Old people love that shit.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. Old people do love that shit. And I'm old now. I can't deny it anymore.
Now? This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz.
We will get to Stugotz's weekend observations in a second, but from among the football things from the weekend, because we haven't gotten to college football yet, there were two things from that Titans game that were worth talking about. One of them is that they had the longest play in the sport this year, 98 yards. Huh. The other one was, this bothered me. The Titans are on defense. The Vikings have 4th and goal, and they throw into the end zone. And the ball is broken up by what has been throughout my entire lifetime a perfectly legal hit right in the chest. And a flag comes out, and then it puts it goal line situation, first down. It's just a really damaging penalty to get wrong. It's worth way too much in a sport where the points are hard to come by, and it's hard to score against Minnesota. And I end up getting bothered because I legitimately don't know anymore what is a legal hit in football, because if you hit someone too hard, I'm like, that's a penalty. Even when you hit them with your shoulder in the chest, which is what happened. Like, they accused him of launching and a bunch of other different things. And I'm like, no, that's just a, like, that's a hit. You're allowed to hit somebody in the chest with your shoulder. It's not the sport is too violent that you're going to change the way that this game is recorded because you're making a call that is so punitive on something that doesn't seem to be the right call. And what you're penalizing, that looked too violent on television. That's what you're penalizing. It's no longer that you're actually penalizing football. It's just that looked bad is what it was. And I guess we're now protecting sternums. And when I'm watching that, given how hard it is to get points in that game, right. Given that it seems like everyone's playing in a phone booth, even though that game had a 98-yard play. Will Levis is running around out there trying to kill himself to not score. Like, they're not scoring against Minnesota. So if you give Minnesota free points, you're not going to be able to be in that game if you're Tennessee.
Right.
And I'm just wondering if you guys are watching any of this and being like, this isn't even being like, I understand how you have to make the game safer. I understand the moral conundrums involved with the general violence of the game. But once you've gotten to the point that you can't hit someone in a way that looks like it hurts without being penalized, I'm like, you're no longer legislating football. You're just doing PR.
Yeah, I would argue that there's an over-protection of the quarterback right now, and that there's also an inconsistency on what and what isn't unnecessary roughness. I saw a play yesterday where the defender shoves the quarterback in the chest.
Yep.
And the quarterback, theatrically, I thought, falls backwards.
Well, you have to sell it now because you know they're going to call it.
Right.
Or there's a chance they're going to call it.
Yeah, and that was a flag. And I didn't think it should have been. I thought it was a shove. It was what seemed like a pretty mild shove to the chest. The quarterback didn't have to fall, but the flag flew. And I think that's an example of overprotecting the quarterback.
Yeah, Dan, there was also like in the non-quarterback category, this happened in a play in a Steelers game a few weeks ago where Minkah Fitzpatrick got flagged for the same sort of hit you're talking about, where it was a really, really like bone-crushing hard hit, but it was legal. And so I think it was against the Colts. They got 15 yards, ended up scoring, won the game by like 3 points. And afterwards, the ref said that was an incorrect call and it was actually shouldn't have been penalized. And so like just from watching football all weekend, like the Pitt Clemson game on Saturday, there was inconsistencies with the roughing the passer call where Cade Klubnik got roughed and they called it on Pitt, and then like a few plays later Pitt's quarterback had a like massive shot to the helmet that they didn't call initially, and then eventually the refs did call it after everyone booed them for 5 minutes. It was just a disaster. The Notre Dame Virginia game had a ton of bad calls in it. Like the officiating, just I don't know what to say about it other than it is wildly inconsistent. It's frustrating as a fan, especially when there's points being put on the board because of calls like this in late game situations. And I just don't know what else there is
Jessica,
to say
though,
other than it stinks sometimes.
I keep saying forms of the following though. The reason it's wildly inconsistent, it can't humanly be done consistently. It's moving too fast. Like we can put all sorts of stipulations in there. You know what you could do? If something is too punitive to be game altering, we're always reviewing that. We don't care if it slows up the game. You can't have something go from 4th and short, you've turned over the ball, to that 7 points because of what you just called. You should review that until you get that right. Like, there's no circumstance under which a penalty should be that punitive where it's worth more than all the other things in a sport we're watching where we're like, oh, look, the Ravens and the Steelers are trying to kill each other. What's the difference in that game? The kicker can't make a couple of kicks. These calls are worth too much to do it poorly, and you're trying to govern something that simply can't be governed consistently. It's not a problem of these people aren't competent or they're not putting in enough hours. All of that shit's moving too fast for old human beings to be able to get everything right.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I sort of empathize with like having to make those split-second decisions, but I don't know what the solution is because I do think people care about the game being slowed down a lot. People hate reviews, especially if you're at a game and you're wasting 3 minutes on a total slowdown. It kills the momentum. It kills the fun. Like, no one wants to see football games get even longer because of long, slow reviews after just tackles.
It's an either-or situation, though. You get one, not both, sports fan. You either get your sport properly officiated or you deal with longer games. You don't get to have both of those things.
I'll take the longer games with them getting it right. Yeah, the Vikings yesterday, huh? I mean...
I did not have the Vikings.
Spent a lot of time on Vikings-Titans.
No, it was just when it was. They were in the red zone twice. One was a 98-yard play, and the other time was I'm looking at a call. I'm like, that's not right. That's not. You can't do that. Right. And did anyone else have trouble with the glitchiness of the red zone? I saw a ton of complaints about it, but no one here had glitchiness with the red zone. Put it on the poll, please. At Batard Show, was your red zone glitchy this weekend? Because this weekend reminded me, with the technological issues, of the advent of people getting addicted to the cell phone before the cell towers had totally the technology that they needed. So calls were always breaking up, but we had already gotten used to this is something that we do in the car, so it needs to work. So we complain about the cell towers. This weekend, you notice what the danger is in live sports, because the reason I saw a lot of complaints is, man, you make it glitchy during the witching hour, you're messing with people's addictions now. You're now invading
it's where wins turn to losses.
The entertainment being diluted there is not allowed because you've gotten too used to consuming it without dilution. So when you tune into Jake Paul and Tyson and you get buffering, or where you turn into the red zone and you get buffering, people get angrier about that than any other kind of buffering.
There's a commercial that airs occasionally when I'm watching games on YouTube TV, and I have an Android TV, and in the commercial itself, the actor goes, "Hey, Google." And that automatically sets off my remote, and it pauses the entire thing. I'm doing it to someone else right now, and I apologize. But I feel like this should have been considered when we put this ad out there, because you have a solid chunk. I imagine like 30% of the people watching that in that moment all of a sudden have to pause and tell their TV, no, that wasn't me. I didn't mean to do that.
I'm confused, though. When you guys talk about boxing, you always talk about buffer this, buffer that. But then when Netflix buffers, you don't like buffer anymore.
You know what I love on YouTube is the moment of sadness.
it's the best.
It is unbelievable.
It is so good. Yes, I'll skip that ad.
Valhalla.
Mike, is there anyone in our audience whose wife is named Siri who has this problem?
No, but maybe there's some Alexas over there.
Yeah. I've said the word Alexa in my kitchen, and the person, the Alexa answers me, and I didn't even mean her.
Well, why were you saying Alexa?
Just for fun?
It happened once. My wife and I were discussing Billy Joel.
Yes.
And he's got a song, I think it's about his daughter, and Alexa's in the title. So I'm saying to my wife, what's that Billy Joel song about his daughter Alexa? And then over there, disembodied voices going, "May I help you?" or something.
Yeah, no, that's happened to me too. I'm having a discussion with my wife in my room, and it's a serious discussion. And then it's like, "Moving Out" by Billy Joel. I don't have access to that right now. What are you talking about? We weren't talking.
Chris Cote, on Thursday night, if people want a riveting conversation like this over nachos and
rib rolls.
And chicken wings. Do you have a favorite Flanigan's item, Billy? Is there one item among all the items that you like more than the others?
How can you pick just one? So many good options.
The cup. Yep.
The cup is good. The wings are good.
Love
the
the
ribs are
green
good.
cup.
It's all good.
We're doing this on Thursday night. The Steelers bring their culture of violence to the Browns. I fully expected someone to pull out a samurai sword during that Ravens-Steelers game.
Thursday night's a Steelers trap game, Dan.
Wow.
We should do custom Batard Show Flanigan's cups.
Oh.
With my face on
2
them?
days notice.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to do it now, but we could do it at some point.
We should.
Put my face where Flanigan's face is?
Greg kind of looks like
Flanigan's.
Flanigan.
Yeah.
I've been told that.
Have you?
Yeah, Joe Flanigan.
Papa Joe.
No, I have.
Joe.
Jeffrey Loria. I look like all kind of people.
You do look like Jeffrey. Yeah.
Zelig. I'm everywhere. Exactly.
Are you going Thursday night?
I had not planned on it.
Yeah.
Which is
Good
not the
sell.
same as saying no or yes.
Well, what if I told you the Browns were playing?
Then I definitely would not go.
It's right by your house. It's in North Miami Beach.
Yeah, it's such a quick hike. Can I say one thing about the Pittsburgh-Baltimore rivalry?
Yeah.
The only good rivalry in the NFL. That's the one thing that college football does better is rivalries. When I think of an NFL rivalry, I start and stop with Baltimore-Pittsburgh. What's the second best?
I mean, there are a lot inside of divisions. There are a lot of
Name one that rivals that.
Eagles Cowboys is pretty good.
When they're
Bears
good.
Packers, but the Packers own the Bears, so.
Well, but is the owning the part of it? Because the Steelers have owned the Ravens. It's a weird
You're
thing.
damn right.
It's a weird thing
They
that's
get no
happened.
credit.
They've won over the last 4 years. Think about what I'm about to say here. Over the last 4 years, one of the teams has the MVP. And that team has lost 8 of the 9 games it has played. Like, that's not how that one usually goes.
And if you look at those 9 games, right, 8-1 disparity, every one of them is close, and every one of them is like a 19-17 score. It's amazing. I'm not even lying. Look up. All the same game.
Well, this one's Ravens. This one's Browns Steelers. No Ravens. So it's probably going to be a bit of a different matchup.
One culture of violence.
But Kadarius Toney is there, and that's been pretty fun. He almost scored yesterday. Granted, he finished the game with -7 yards, but he did almost score. You had to watch it to make sense of it. But again, come out and join us this Thursday night, Flanigan's in North Miami Beach, 13205 Biscayne Boulevard for a Thursday night football watch party presented by Miller Lite, a long partner of ours. We're so honored to have that relationship. It's the Steelers, it's the Browns, and it tastes like Miller time.
Season's greetings, podcast audience. It's Mike Ryan, and now is that time of year where you start hosting your family gatherings, be it Thanksgiving, be it the upcoming holiday season. You're going to have some folks in town. You're going to be doing some entertaining. So why don't you make your family time a Miller time? It's the first thing that I roll out when I got guests over at the house, an ice-cold bucket filled with that beautiful white can. See, Miller time makes family time all the more special because, for one thing, it's got taste that you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks, just a great beer for people who like beer. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers. It's got simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors and an iconic golden color. And at just 96 calories and 3.2 grams of carbs per 12 ounces, Miller Time is always a good time, even during the festive times. Making memories at year-end gatherings? Tastes like Miller Time. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. Hey, podcasters, it's Mike Ryan, and let me tell you something. The NBA's got a lot going for it right now. Bright young stars hitting the court, teams playing exciting brands of basketball, and celebrities everywhere you look courtside. It's no wonder why tickets are in demand. Let me tell you about my favorite on the secondary ticket marketplace, and that is Game Time, and their amazing new feature called Game Time Picks. It makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. With Game Time Picks, it helps make curation easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and whatever else tickles your fancy. Also, they've got all-in pricing. This feature is huge. Push of a button, you get no surprises at checkout, you know exactly what to budget for. You get panoramic seat views, and of course, Game Time's lowest price guarantee, where Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference if you find a better price out there. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time.